The first FIFA World Cup game in history took place on July 13, 1930 in Uruguay. France won over Mexico with a score of 4-1. Only 13 countries decided to take part in the tournament because the number was under 16. It became the only World Cup without qualification games. The Romanian King Karol II was such a huge soccer fan that he made it his first and biggest priority to get his national team to play at the FIFA World Cup. He only ascended the throne 35 days before the championship, but he personally selected players for the team, and they submitted the application 3 days before the deadline. The problem was that most of the players worked for a company that refused to give them a paid vacation for 3 months. Then the king himself had to make a couple of phone calls and the team got on board a liner headed for Uruguay. They made several stops en route to pick up the French squad and FIFA president Jules Rimet with the trophy in his suitcase. Later they also picked up teams Belgium and Brazil. They all shared the ride to save some money. Team Yugoslavia had to travel 3 days by train to the port of Marseille. They were supposed to share the ship with Team Egypt, but they couldn't make it. Because of bad weather, it was impossible to do any training on the ships, and the journeys lasted around 15 days still. Most of the arriving teams won the opening matches. The referee of the final game at the first World Cup was from Belgium. He was wearing a formal jacket with a tie and riding breeches, quite an original choice of an outfit for a sports event. The FIFA trophy was originally named Victory. It was a gold-plated sterling silver sculpture of the Greek goddess of victory, Nike, holding the cup over her head. Several years later, the trophy cup was renamed to honor Jules Rimet. He was FIFA's third president who helped make soccer a global sport and start the World Cup. The trophy was passed over from winner to winner until 1970. That year Brazil won the World Cup for the 3rd time and got to keep it for good. In 1966, the World Cup trophy was missing for 7 days. That year the tournament was supposed to take place in England. The trophy was on display at a stamp exhibition in London. It was supervised 24/7, but a thief managed to break into the security case and steal the trophy on its 2nd day on display. The entire nation followed the search for the trophy that began immediately. The thief demanded a huge ransom, and even when he was arrested, the cup wasn't with him. Then a black and white mongrel named Pickles saved the day. A week after the theft, Pickles noticed something wrapped in a newspaper beneath a hedge in the garden of his home in South London. The pup made his owner, David Corbett, check out the find. While he was carefully unwrapping the newspaper, David realized the World Cup trophy itself was in his garden. Once it was confirmed that it was real, Pickles instantly became a celebrity worldwide. His owner was given a reward of over $100,000 in today's money, and the pup received a lifelong supply of dog food. Several years later, a new trophy was made by an Italian artist who won a design competition. It's a statue of 2 athletes holding up a globe made of 18-karat gold with bands of malachite on its base. Some scientists claim the globe has to be hollow, or else it would be impossible to lift up the trophy as Winners do. No one has seen the first original jewelry trophy since 1983. The Brazilian Football Confederation placed the first original jewelry-made trophy on display. In their office, a group of thieves managed to tie up the buildings. Security opened the wooden frame of the bulletproof glass box and took the trophy. The Rio de Janeiro State Bank offered a hefty reward for the trophy's safe return, but the trophy never came back. The most popular version is that the thieves melted it down into gold bars in one of many Brazilian foundries. The system of yellow and red cards was only introduced at the 1970 World Cup. Until then, referees had to tell players they were dismissed. At the tournament in Chile, famous referee Ken Aston wanted to send one of the Italian players off for kicking a Chilean athlete. The Italian didn't speak any English and the referee didn't know a word of Italian, so other players and the stadium security had to drag the player off the field. The remaining game was pretty violent. There was no way for the referee to easily let the players know they had to leave the field. Ken Aston couldn't stop thinking about that game even when he came back home. Once he was driving down the street in his car, noticed the traffic lights and decided to introduce the same system to the pitch. It was an instant hit, but officially became accepted by the rules only after a while. According to FIFA rules, players who take part in the World Cup wear shirts with numbers from 1 to 23. Players from Japan aren't excited about wearing the shirt with the number 4 on it, as it sounds similar to demise in their language and is considered unlucky, so they decide at random who's going to wear that shirt. Start of the final match at the 1974 World Cup had to be delayed by 10 minutes. It happened because construction workers at the Munich stadium had forgotten to install the corner flag. Only nearly 30 years after the first World Cup, England and Brazil played 0-0. This was actually the only time Brazil didn't score, and it was because their opponents had really great defensive tactics. The game where the players got a record number of yellow and red cards was in Germany in 2006 at the game between Portugal and Holland. The referee gave out a total of 16 yellow and 4 red cards. The first yellow card was given only after 2 minutes of the game. The FIFA president was so unhappy with the referee, but he suggested he should have given himself a yellow card right in the middle of the quarter-final game between England and Brazil at the 1962 World Cup in Chile. A dog suddenly ran onto the field. The referee stopped the game, but no one could catch the pup. Then the English striker Jimmy Greaves, who was a huge fan of dogs, got on his hands and knees and called the canine over. The crowd was cheering and the pup was happy to be picked up and let Greaves cuddle with it. Brazilian player Garrincha was so amazed by the incident that he adopted the pup, and Greaves got himself a nickname, Garrincha's dog catcher. Qatar is set to host the first Winter World Cup in history. All other host countries did it in the summer months. It's going to be the most expensive FIFA Event ever. Well, I'm not surprised since all stadiums will be fully air conditioned and the prize money for the winners will be $42 million. Some interesting statistics say that a team with a foreign coach has never won the World Cup, yet all the winning team coaches so far have been of the same nationality as the winning team. The country that is most interested in soccer, at least online, is the Solomon Islands. The people living in this archipelago northeast of Australia Google the World Cup the most. French team manager Raymond Dominic Led his country in 2 World Cups. He was a big fan of astrology and believed the players' star signs could affect their performance. He didn't trust Scorpios and Leos as he thought they'd want to show off, so players with this star sign didn't get to play as much as they could. That's it for today, so hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends.